Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here. You guys know what time it is. Time to talk about current events in the online fitness community. And for those of you who like these type of videos, please remember to click like down below. Help keep those likes higher than the dislikes. It would be greatly appreciated. But over to the point. Number of people have said, Jason, Richard, aka Vegan Gains, is attacking John Venus for eating eggs. I did a little bit of investigation, and honestly, I can't stand much of Richard, so I would never be able to make it through 10 minutes of any of his videos, ever. I can't do it. The guy is just such a manipulative sociopath who does nothing but ad hominem attacks against other people for the most part, including me. The guy has told enormous amounts of lies about me because I don't like veganism. That's it. That's his only reason. He knows I'm stronger than him, that I'm a good strength coach. He doesn't want to discuss any of that. It's ad hominem attacks because that's how he is. He's a manipulative liar who accuses everyone else of being a manipulative liar. And that's as soon as I started watching his stuff with John Venus, that was exactly what he did. Oh, he's a manipulative liar. But Richard stands there and tells lies about everybody else. I had caught him numerous times in the past telling lies about me, which I had documented a year ago. A year ago, this is a lie, this is a lie, this is a lie. And I didn't watch his new stuff about me because people will say, well, Jason, you don't want to know. I refuse to watch negative videos about myself. It's not good for my mental health. So if you link them to me, I will never watch them. And it's my standard policy. But the point is, he does this to everybody, and it's his standard tactic. And the thing is, I had to go look at the John Venus thing because I don't know who he is. I might have, people are saying, well, if you did a video maybe on him in the past, maybe I did something he said or whatever, but I'm not familiar with the guy. I know from this that he's a former vegan who's eaten eggs, and he's being attacked by Richard for eating eggs. Well, here's my view on the thing. I don't know much about John. Maybe he's a good person, maybe he's a bad person, but here's what we have to remember. I don't think that people are necessarily universally good or bad. Every single person on earth, every one of us have done good things and we've done bad things. What I would say is generally, are you balancing stuff out, right? And I'm not saying that, oh, if you go do something bad, you could do something good just to make up for it automatically. What I'm saying is, if we want to say, has a person had a more positive or negative impact on the world around them, we've got to balance things out. And for example, like you might see someone who say, oh man, that guy, it's a bad person. He got caught shoplifting 5 years ago. But then this week, the guy runs into a burning building and saves a litter of newborn puppies out of a burning building and risks himself to do it. Do we look at this person and say, is that a good person or a bad person? Is this a shoplifter? Or is this a person who ran into a building and saved a litter of puppies from burning? Okay? You've got to balance it out, and you might look at those two things and say, well, the shoplifting wasn't right. I'm not justifying it. But the guy did save a litter of puppies from a burning building. You've got to balance things out. So you take someone like John Venus, who is a former vegan who's speaking out against veganism. Well, that's going to be a very positive thing. I mean, if you want to talk about something positive you can do in the fitness world, veganism is absolutely an insidious, evil cult. And I'm going to say that anyone who really takes the time to speak out about it and speak out against it, you're potentially saving lives because veganism is harmful to people. Look how many children, all the time in the news, you're always seeing some crazy vegan parents because vegans are, as a general rule, insane. Not just me, there's studies showing that the rate of mental illness among vegans is dramatically higher than the general population. Okay? They're crazy as a demographic. It's not me saying it, there's been research saying it. And it makes sense because it's a diet that's built around dietary deficiency. You're going to have deficiencies. You have to supplement things in order to even survive as a vegan. Like seriously, if you guys wanted to end veganism, make all vitamin supplements illegal. Like if you were to outlaw all supplements, vegans would literally all die. They cannot survive without them. That is a fact. I'm not saying it's going to happen overnight, but it will end them. They require these things. It's a very deficient diet as a general rule, and it's very, very hard to get any sort of appropriate nutrition on it. And that is a reality. Same thing with athletes. It's very, very hard to compete as an athlete as a vegan. It takes a lot of care. It is difficult. They have to put so much more effort into nutrition. But the thing is, these crazy vegans, I mean, they're children. We see children die, and it gets in the news all the time. Vegan parents put child on vegan diet, toddler on it, and they died. There have been dozens of cases of this. All right, this is an evil, insidious group to the point to where they literally think they can force this on their children. These deficient diets, it kills children. Like their propaganda, it's harmful. It harms athletes. It harms people's mental health. Makes people prone to injuries. And I mean, Richard's the perfect example. He's the perfect example. He exemplifies the typical vegan. He attacks everybody with crazy rants. He is injury prone. He's weak. In spite of years and years of lifting, he can't really lift anything with his lower body. He keeps re-injuring himself. And what people need to understand there, that isn't normal. People say, oh, well, he's at it. No, 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 no. He can't heal because his diet is deficient. He doesn't have appropriate nutrition to train. He doesn't have appropriate nutrition to lift hard to get into shape, and he keeps tearing himself because of dietary deficiency. That is a big factor, obviously with probably some other factors as well. I'm not going to get into that because, he'll get up in arms and scream that he doesn't abuse Winnie. But even other coaches have looked at that and laughed. I mean, some big coaches, we were laughing about it a couple months ago on my wall back when he was talking about the knee injury. I mean, to tear a quad doing a leg press, you have to understand how bad that is. Okay, that's veganism. They are injury prone due to dietary deficiency. He's falling apart. And that's the ludicrous part of it. The guy runs around challenging people who are dramatically stronger than him and things to cage matches and stuff, knowing he would get really, really hurt. Okay, he is not a trained fighter. He is not a trained fighter. He is a injury-prone guy with a bum knee. Anybody who's strong hits his leg hard, that's it. He's going to be crippled. He's probably never going to walk again on that leg. That'd be the end of it. But I will say, Richard, you keep talking about this, and I've always said the same thing I've said before. Where's my $100,000? Okay? Keep challenging me to cage match. What did I tell everybody for years and years and years? Need $100,000. Get in a cage match up front. So you keep sending your followers over to my channel talking about a cage match. Where's my money? Where's my money? $100,000 up front, and then we'll discuss. And it's not just you I've said this to. It was everybody for years. So, over to the point, though. He's angry at John Venus for doing good, for speaking out against veganism. Well, I'm going to applaud it. And I'm going to look at the difference. I don't even know much about John Venus, but he looks healthier and fitter and in better shape than Richard, since he's gone to eating meat and dairy. And let's talk about it. Richard's mad at him for eating eggs. It's a problem with eggs. If someone is trying to get jacked and muscular and gain muscle and strength, eggs are a phenomenal food. In fact, I'm going to go out on a limb and say, and I've made videos on this in the past, what are two of the most anabolic foods an athlete can eat? Whole milk, eggs. Okay? Now, before people jump up in these vegans or cholesterol, first of all, there's a lot of debate on the cholesterol thing. Number two, your epidemiology looking at sedentary populations is completely irrelevant to athletes and people who train. Okay, we have our own set of rules. Our blood work is going to be different. Tremendous difference. Okay, when you see people who are extremely athletic and they train hard, who drink lots of milk and eggs and all these other things, their blood work generally still looks fine. Okay, that's the norm. Of trying to apply whatever epidemiology studies that you have on sedentary populations do not apply to athletic populations. If we're here in the fitness world, you're probably part of the athletic population. So let's talk about eggs. Eggs, they're one of the most anabolic foods known to man. Look at the studies on eggs post-workout in young men. Whole eggs actually produced a higher muscle protein synthesis response with the same amount of protein that egg whites do. Okay, the whole egg is an extremely anabolic food. Extremely high quality bioavailable protein. The yolk has arachidonic acid in it, which has been shown to be pretty anabolic. Okay, this is a food for lifters. This is food for people who want to be strong and powerful and muscular and athletic. Right? This is athlete's food. So a person who lifts and trains is trying to get in shape. You're going to get mad at him for eating eggs. And that's the most insane thing. How many of these vegans will literally cry on and on about these healthy whole foods like eggs and milk or steak, but they will eat garbage. I mean, that's the crazy part. Richard will cry about eggs, but he will eat this processed, refined, garbage vegan foods, these fake meats and stuff. Do you understand? Have you looked at the data on any of that stuff? Anyone who would put that crap into their body has no business criticizing other people for eating whole foods that you think some epidemiology might suggest a risk. Because the epidemiology doesn't show that. In fact, dairy, if you look at the meta-analysis, dairy is not linked to cancer, despite what vegans say. It's not linked to heart disease, despite what vegans say. I'm talking about regular milk, not necessarily butter. It's not even linked with it in the epidemiology, according to meta-analysis. But then look at the processed crap these vegans will eat. I mean, right there when I was trying to look through the John Venus stuff, Richard's standing there eating fake meat chicken nuggets. Have you seen any of the data on any of these fake meats? They're some of the worst crap you could put into your body. Why do vegans do this? Because they know that deep down we are meat eaters. Humans are cooked food omnivores, and we crave meat, we enjoy meat, and they have to have meat substitutes because they know that we are wired to like that stuff as a species. Cooked meat is part of our natural food supply. And no, I'm not going to get into the long details of the anthropology that has determined this, but it does seem to be the case. We are cooked carnivores as far as the food goes. Yes, we actually are. We evolved that way. But we're cooked food omnivores. That's our natural diet. That is what we thrive on. And they eat it because they know at the end of the day that they can't live without meat for the most part. And they know vegans turn away from veganism. The overwhelming majority of vegans do. The statistics show that they can't stick it out. And so they do the fake meats because they know they can probably stick it out longer if they do that. But it's garbage. That stuff is complete garbage. And if you really and truly cared about your body, you wouldn't be eating these fake meats and junk food. Sheer hypocrisy. Whereas you got John Venus over here eating some eggs. You know what? I applaud that. A former vegan eating eggs because he wants to gain muscle and strength. Fantastic. Nothing but praise there. I should probably look further into John Venus. He sounds like a good guy to me. I don't know much about him, but the fact that he's standing up against veganism alone is going to be a plus, even if he's done some other stuff that's wrong in the past. It's all about how do we balance the scale, isn't it? All right, guys, well, that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.